Yeah, see, I'm not sure that I look at this the same way. Because people are saying the problem with generative AI is that the art used to build it, to build the databases that it runs off of, was taken without permission, right? All the artists that allowed to make this thing happen are not getting paid. Well, my blood glucose monitor was made using a database of lots and lots of blood sugar levels collected by doctors and nurses who aren't getting paid. My CPAP makes adjustments based on a network of data of all users of CPAPs of the same brand, and they're not getting paid, nor are their sleep doctors getting paid. These are very clear instances of data being farmed to create an AI database without paying the people who are responsible for creating that data, just like generative AI. And it doesn't stop there, because have you ever used your GPS? Our earliest GPSs, and even the GPSs that we have now, are based on map data made by people who never got paid for creating those maps, or at least didn't get paid for using them in the GPS. Have you ever used Google Translate? That was trained on a whole bunch of different multilingual texts and dictionaries, and those people who made those texts never got paid for them. Hell, the very first spell checks that we had on computers were made from dictionaries whose creators did not get paid for that purpose. And the reason why I push back against the idea that visually generative AI is the one bad AI is because it feels to me like we're saying artists are better than everyone else who does every other sort of work. Because, like, you're right, artists should get paid for their work that goes into AI databases. But doctors should get paid for their work that goes into medical databases. And cartographers should get paid for their work that goes into map databases. And writers and localizers should get paid for their work that goes into translation databases. Like, it really, really squicks me out that people have all this energy for visual art, but seem to treat every other career as replaceable. Or that every other career is a worthy sacrifice for the ease of which we have GPS, or the lives that get saved by the medical database. And, like, if you feel that way, you do have to think AI can do some good. So how do we let AI do the most good and do the least harm? You can't just say generative AI is bad because it affects me and all the other AIs are good because it doesn't affect me. Like, that doesn't fly morally. And people usually don't like to hear this because they like the convenience of the GPS on their phone. They like the convenience of search engines. They like the convenience of translation tools. They like that stuff. So when asked to bring the same energy that they have against generative AI to tools that they use every day, it scares them. Which, by the way, it shouldn't. I'm not judging you for using those tools. We have those tools. They're good tools. But they, too, should be developed ethically, shouldn't they? This is all stemming, as I said in another video, from a problem that our laws governing IP never updated for the internet. And in half a decade, the internet has evolved in many ways. The speed of information has increased exponentially and is only going to keep increasing. And I, for one, do not want to halt progress. I want to see more AI save more lives. I want to see more AI make more jobs easier. But I want it to be done in a way that hurts the least amount of people possible. And that requires admitting that the problem doesn't stop with AI art. And that requires admitting that you have probably used tools that were created without paying the people who created the data that was used to create them. And that's okay. Again, I'm not judging you. But I don't like the idea that artists are some protected class. The data that doctors create, that's valuable. The data that translators create, that's valuable. The data that automobile workers create, that's also valuable. Data was farmed from workers to create robots that replace them when it comes to automobile lines. And I actually think this is a good thing because factory work is incredibly dangerous and fatalities are way, way, way down because of it. But those factory workers didn't get paid. And at the time, people were like, well, losing those jobs was worth it because now everyone's safe. But now, many years later, when we're seeing what happens with generative AI and how angry people get with generative AI, I think we should revisit that and go, those factory workers probably deserve compensation for the creation of the databases that allowed the car-making AI to work. Even the simple rudimentary commands that don't use large learning models, that use small learning models, that use smaller databases. I don't like saying, oh, visual art is more valuable than the welding work that guy did. All work is valuable. So, I'm here with you. We absolutely need reform to our laws that govern the creation of databases. But please, don't stop with visual art. That feels real bad to me. That feels like people are only getting angry about stuff that either directly affects them or that they directly care about, and they're leaving a whole bunch of workers in a whole bunch of other fields in the lurch, and that just doesn't feel good.